Hello, welcome to another video. This one, as you can see from my surroundings, I've moved into my study primarily because our house moves very imminent now, and the painting room is in the process of getting packed up. So it's a bit of a bomb site, so that's why I've temporarily moved over to my study. This video is on a bit of an unusual subject, 20mm winter of 79, which is sort of a fictional scenario whereby the UK has descended into chaos in 1979, and it basically runs from there. I'll put some links in the description, and if you don't know what the sketch is, you'll soon find out if you click on the link. First off, however, obviously in the UK, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II passed away a couple of days ago, and what I really want to do is just mention that, certainly from my perspective, I gave my oath of allegiance when I joined the army to Queen Elizabeth II. That obviously passes down to all heirs and successors, and it's now with obviously King Charles III. It was nice to see at the ceremony at St James's yesterday, the Coldstream doing the three cheers. They were there in 1660 at the ascension of King Charles II, and it's probably quite appropriate that they were there for King Charles III. I don't want to go into any more talk about it other than to say that on a personal note, I think she's a massive and irreplaceable loss to the country. I'm sure Charles III will do a good job, and as I've said, my oath of allegiance when I gave it in the early 80s is as relevant now as it was then, and it doesn't go whether you leave the army or whether you join the police or anything. It's still there, and that's going to be there with us from cradle to grave, really, like my army service. So anyway, on to winter of 79. Chose 20mm primarily because there's lots of available vehicles and buildings. The other thing that I wanted to mention is obviously me and Alex are putting a demonstration game on at Border Riva, which is the show at Gateshead International Stadium on Saturday, which is the 17th of September. So if you're all anyone able to pop into the show, it's quite a nice show. It's small, but it's good. Get yourself along there, come and have a natter, and please stop by and say hello. So what we'll do now is we'll go down to the turntable and have a look at some of the figures. Right, first figures. Wallsend Revolutionary Communist Party. I've localised it to where I live. These three are Liberation, from the Armed Civilians range. Really easy to paint, nice to paint. The flag is just a bit of toothpaste tube or tomato puree tube, hand painted and bent. With the bases, I've done them. I managed to get some little bricks that you can see on there. Variety of figures here. Liberation. There's also some Hotspurs there, and the guy, as you look at it now with the yellowish shirt on, he's a Hotspur figure, as is the guy with the black jacket with the handgun. Rest, I'm pretty sure, are Liberation. Painted randomly. Obviously, these are a sort of a communist group in winter 79 setting, so that's why they're quite ragtag. On to some more. Again, this is a mixture of Liberation and Hotspur. The female on the end with a grey skirt on, that's definitely a Hotspur figure. So normal way to paint my bases, dry brushed up, a few little clumps on, but I've just added some bricks to just urbanise the bases a little bit. Wide variety, obviously wide variety of weapons, all sorts of shotguns, handguns. There's an M1 carbine there. These guys, again, I think there's a mixture, Liberation Hotspur. Guy which would be ideal as a Provo in the centre, with a blue boiler suit on, a balaclava, gloves and a handgun. quite nice to paint because you can randomize them so much. Guy with the red face neckerchief on, I think he might be Hotspur as well. These are all Liberation, again from the, I think it's called Urban Meltdown, the range that Rolf does, quite nice. Variety of weapons, and they've got, you know, various satchels and pouches, so they're not too militarized, which works sort of really well for militia type figures. Painted using my normal technique, so the 3 colours and what have you. So this is a little command group. I've done one as a sort of a deserter. There's a guy with a Carl Gustav. Another guy with an FN. Obviously, these folks need something to move about in, primarily civilian vehicles, and I use the Oxford diecast, which I think are 176 00 gauge, so they work in fine. They work really well. And next up, we've got some transport. That's obviously an old Ford Cortina. All I've done with the figures basically is just with the vehicles, dirtied it up a little bit, painted the windows because I think they look better, and I've based them all just for ease, really, for ease of use, and the store better when they're based. Next up, I'm going to do some regular vehicles, which I just thought I'd show you, so you can see what I've been up to. These are the JB models Saracens, which are subsequently done as a model, I think, by Airfix. Very few parts, quite basic and simple the kit, but they paint up really nice. Obviously, just done them on a base, based my vehicles as well, and obviously put a few broken bricks and rubble around. So these are obviously for me regular forces who are going to counter Wallsend RCP. Here we've got a couple of armoured Land Rovers with some 4 para guys in the top, who are my local TA unit, which are they were based in Gateshead at this period. It was C Company 4 para based in Gateshead, so they've obviously stepped up to quieten the disgruntled militia and civilians. Really nice to do, and unusual, quite fun to paint. And this is a flying pig with the folding riot shields deployed. I will try and remember off the top of my head, I can't remember the manufacturer. It's in the UK that do resin vehicles, but I will try and find out. As I painted using my normal methods, quite nice to do. And that's, as we stand at the moment, that's where we are. Right, so that was the winter of '79 stuff, the figures anyway. Obviously what I'm using as well, I'm using my 20mm British Falkland stuff. They do is obviously regular infantry, so I use them, and I've got some buildings which will probably need to be done, some scenery items, as a second video. In the short term, what we're probably going to be left with now is me doing some rambles until we get sorted, which is probably certainly going to be a month until we get everything up and running at the new gaff. So if you've enjoyed the video, obviously please like it. If you're not already a subscriber, you can. It would be great if you subscribed. It gives me a bit of incentive to keep producing them. You can do that from either the main channel page, or alternatively, if you wait at the end of the video, in the bottom right hand corner, there's a subscription button which pops up, and that's disguised as an Empress 28mm modern British infantryman. Okay, so thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.